Alright, hello everyone. Hi and welcome to my channel. I don't know why I started it like that, but I did. The setup is a little interesting today. Um it's because I don't know, I have this on my TV and camera is here. My TV is here. And then I have the chat there, just in case. Um and I remembered that it was a whole zodiac season, but I forgot to just pull a few cards to see what's up. I'm only gonna do two. I'm gonna do. There we go. I'm gonna do what to recall, keep in mind, and I'm gonna do what we have to gain, and I'm gonna use this for those, and then I'm gonna clarify with the Weaver Tarot Ascendant Edition and Journeyman Edition. I don't know why I'm doing this, but it's fun. More apparent aspects, more underlying. So, one second, one moment, please, as I brighten myself up a little bit. Like, do you even matter? Hold up, wait. This froze. See? One second, y'all. There we go. Oh, it's backwards. Okay. So, dreams have been interesting lately. I think I'm becoming more sensitive. Um, it was like the dream I had last night was so weird. Because I was like in a place and there was somebody and they were talking to me about like everything that they're going through in life and how things aren't how they were supposed to be and how they were well intentioned and all this kind of stuff. And I'm just sitting there like, like low key, just waiting for my moment to escape. Because I'm just like this doesn't have anything to do with me. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm involved in this conversation. And it's like, well, somebody presented themselves one way and they weren't that way. And it's like I wasn't the person that presented myself some type of way. I'm not the person that told you to listen to or not listen to, whatever. Like if you made a choice or decision, it's a choice or decision you made. It was so weird. I'm just like I don't even now, and it's like it's not really the type of person that I would have a conversation like that with. I don't know. Like after Pisces season was over, it's like as soon as the sun went into Aries, then my dreams went right back to being as just random and weird as they usually were. Also, apparently Venus is already in Aries, so I thought we was gonna have a little bit of a Pisces stellium for a little bit longer, but apparently Venus then already transited in the Aries. And since Venus is in Aries and Mars is in Gemini, I'm like, oh my gosh, like they're gonna be conjuncting soon. I was like, when is that gonna happen? And so I went to Lionsgate, 8 August 8th. We're gonna have a new moon in Leo on that day, surprisingly. And Mars and Venus are both going to be in Virgo. Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter, and Neptune are all going to be retrograde by then. Um, let's see. North Node is going to be 8 degrees, so that's getting closer to transiting into another sign. Yeah. So the sun and the moon and Mercury, Sun, Moon, Mercury, all in Leo. Mars and Venus in Virgo. So I don't know if they're going to conjunct in Leo or if they're going to conjunct in Virgo. Um, Pluto retrograde Capricorn, Saturn, Jupiter retrograde Aquarius, Neptune retrograde Pisces. Oof. So if you're born around the time I was born, you're having a Saturn conjunction right now, or a Saturn return right now. I looked at the transit, y'all. I was like, I don't fear Saturn. I actually kind of like the planet of Saturn a little bit. But I'm like, I don't know if I want like 3 Saturn conjunctions or 3 Saturn returns because it retrogrades on my degree. So it's not going to retrograde on my degree. So I'm thankful for that. It's going to hit me once and it's going to keep on moving. But what else? I think that was it. Oh, I was going to see if Venus is officially in Aries because I got the notification earlier. Current date and time. Yeah, Venus 0 degrees Aries. The Sun is 1 degree Aries. So we're gonna have a Venus Sun conjunction here pretty soon. That'll be fun, I guess. I don't know. Let's just get into this. I'll timestamp in the description box when I actually start, and it may be a little easier here because I have this screen up here. Oh, I assume that y'all can hear me. I know I'm seeing the volume like jump up into the red, so I was gonna see when my package arrives. I have a package arriving today that I thought was gonna be here Friday, and then I thought it would be here yesterday, but it's arriving today. That's fine. I still need to do laundry and stuff for my little trip. The death card at the bottom of the deck. What's at the bottom of the deck over here? The pillar. I've never seen this. But the pillar is the Empress in the tarot. But there are 2 pillars here. So there's like it's like there are 2 Empresses coming together. And if this is a dynamic, then that means that there are also 2 Emperors coming together. Look, there's the death card. Maybe at some point along their journey they were at odds with each other. And then like they separate, they come together, they separate, never can quite get on the same page, but it's like now they're on the same page. And it's 2 feminine energies. And then like we see the 2 snakes as well. And there are some subtle, not necessarily subtle, there are some differences between these pillars. They're not necessarily identical. Right? Because we see the crystals down here on this one, but they're up here on that one. Hmm. Interesting. Um, don't ask me. I just pull cards. What else? I feel like I was going to talk about something else, but what's this? The star. So we have death, the star, and the pillar. And it's also interesting, it's the pillar, but there are 2 columns here. See, look, 2 snakes, but it's a single pillar. And there's a single rose that they're both going for in the death card. Something interesting is happening. Well, they say that separation is an illusion. My grandma, I was like, I was like, I heard somebody talk about oneness. I wanted to get out of the house, so I went to the local Xfinity store, the not necessarily local Xfinity store with my mother and my grandmother. My mother took my grandmother, and I wanted to tag along. And at one point, they started talking about belief and religion and faith and unity and oneness coming together on one accord. And I can't remember fully. what they said, but I feel like, okay, because it's bridging a gap. These snakes are bridging a gap. And so it's like you hold your pillar of faith, whatever you believe in. There are things that other people believe in. And regardless of you being anchored and rooted in something different, there's this point where we can meet. And that's sort of the transformation that I guess we could be going through globally, where our belief systems are no longer, our belief systems is no longer something that separates us. Belief systems are no longer things that separate us as much. And we can be rooted and grounded in our own, but still reach out to others and still meet them with love and kindness. Okay. And that's what's really going to be causing certain things to shift. Justice in the Nine of Cups. That's how we get where we're going. Justice in the Nine of Cups. With the Wheel of Fortune at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, that's really going to change things up. There you go. Okay. Cute work. All right. But that's the apparent aspect. Like what's underlying is the energy of rebirth and transformation. What's apparent, what's more obvious is justice with that Nine of Cups. It's realizing how what we desire requires us to be able to reach out and extend ourselves more. Maybe that's what the dream was about. Because I'm like, I don't know, like I don't know why I'm here right now. I'm like, I don't know why I'm here right now. I don't know why I have to watch this. I still don't know. Sometimes I dream about people and I'm just like, why? Because I guess her thing was in the past, like she thought she was doing the right thing, but they were for selfish reasons. And it's not that she was selfish necessarily or per se, but like she thought she was doing the right thing to further her own goals or to make ends meet for herself. And that's why I'm like, I don't know why I'm a part of this conversation. Because like I don't have anything to do with what you're talking about, like at all. I don't know why you feel the need to have me bear witness to whatever it is you're confessing or whatever. I don't know. Ooh, come through another major temperance. And you see the two hands with them little star thingies on them? And then there's the mandorla with wings. It's like ushering in an age of freedom. The mandorla is like an important historical event or happening, typically religious or spiritual in nature. And it has wings. There's the cup with the glyph of fire and fire in it. The cup is the torch. That's a heart on fire. Oh my gosh. Okay. That kind of makes sense. All right. So before I get into it, I'm feeling guided. I'm feeling led. That hurts. Y'all ever like do stuff like read or something, pull cards or something, and then get just random aches and pains that aren't random? It's like when my head starts to hurt, or that area in between my brows starts to hurt. I'm like, okay, well, thank you, I guess. And I'm gonna say that this is 1425 cards. Okay, so I just want to pull. So we're gonna start with the underlying aspect. And my favorite card has come out, the Ten of Wands and the Two of Swords. The Ten of Wands and the Two of Swords coming out under this death card. I feel like it's carrying an energy. It's like when you're pregnant, but you don't know that you're pregnant. I'm assuming because I I won't know what it feels like to be pregnant unless a whole bunch of magic happens. So I'm not gonna know. But it's like I'm having morning sickness. I'm having these aches and pains. I'm bloating, and I don't know why. Like that's the energy here, because the Ten of Wands is a burden, but it's not one without purpose. It's like you're experiencing all of this because you're growing a life inside of you. You're more hungry, or you're craving weird things, or whatever, because your body is requiring, or something within you is asking to be sustained or nurtured in a way that maybe you weren't necessarily doing it before, or you weren't doing enough to support what it is that you're bringing into the world. The Two of Swords is the energy of not necessarily knowing why, not being able to see it, or it not making sense. But it, like with this energy up here, it very much so makes sense. You just don't necessarily see it. And it also carries this energy of like, you think it may be one thing, but it's something completely different. Not completely different, because I don't think it's not related at all, but there's something more, there's something extra. So then I guess we'll follow suit and go here. And then, ooh, good. Well, Justice has come out again. First, Justice came out with, what was she? I don't remember. Swords, no. Cups, no. Pentacles, no. Definitely not Pentacles. Wands, no. Maybe it was Swords. I don't remember the card that Justice came out with, but it came out with the Ten of Cups now. Ten of Cups and Justice. Like, again, like I said, it's for something. It's for some reason. I think you may know some of it, or there's an aspect of it that is a little bit more obvious and more apparent. But this is the underlying thing. This is what's more apparent. This is what's wild. It was justice and something else. Because it's like we're gonna be, either we are beginning to see, we're beginning to feel, we're beginning to experience, or we soon will change. And the Wheel of Fortune was at the bottom of the deck before. It's the Temperance card now. What's interesting is that both of those energies are connected to the South Node right now because it's in Sagittarius. Temperance is linked to Sagittarius. The Wheel of Fortune is linked to Jupiter. Jupiter rules Sagittarius. There you go, right? And the Ten of Wands is Sagittarian energy. So we have Sagittarius, Libra, and Pisces. Sagittarius and Pisces, that's the feminine and the masculine aspect of Jupiter. And it's third decan for both of them. Now, the third decan for Jupiter is interesting because, like, Jupiter is a planet of expanse, like boundless expanse. It never ends. And so, even though it's like you've reached the completion of one journey, that's why it's the 10. Because when you reach one completion, it's just the beginning for something else. Jupiter doesn't end, and Saturn never begins. I think this justice is, oh, look at that. Look at that. Can you see them both at the same time? You see the shaded moon and the, like, the hollow moon and the filled moon, and then over here you get the hollow one and the filled one on the scales. That's interesting. Let's see. Angle this one up, angle that one down. You can kind of see it. There you go. There you go. The Two of Swords is minor justice now. Well, it's been carrying an energy of minor justice for a minute. The Queen of Swords is pre-justice. Justice is the full justice. And I guess they're switched now. I'm actually going to keep it like that. Because before this was an energy, underlying was an energy of like you experiencing these things, you experiencing roadblocks, blockages, setbacks, whatever, and not fully knowing why. Now the energy of justice is coming in. And again, like the lighter one is the more apparent one. Now it feels like there are things happening in your life. And you're like, oh my gosh, like I can do this now because I couldn't before, or because I wasn't willing to do it before. Things had to transpire, things had to happen. And now, like for myself personally, if you don't resonate with it, then like if you don't resonate with any of this, don't take it, right? But for myself personally, like there are things that I can do now effortlessly that I used to have so much resistance to. And I remember being in the moment, like being confronted with something that I used to want to avoid as much as I could. But it doesn't matter anymore. And it could be connected to a number of things. But also, there were a lot of things that I was carrying, and maybe that's what this is too. It's the things that we carry, the things that weigh us down that we don't even necessarily fully recognize. Or okay, maybe that also connects back to the dream. Or like we don't recognize or we don't realize how much they hold us back. And then after we release them, it's I don't know, I don't have a word. I don't have a word to describe it. And so then we come into the understanding something happens that gives context to the past in a way. I feel like it's still related to a choice though. I mean, but with justice, it's kind of sort of going to play out how it plays out in a certain aspect, in a certain way. But if the divine knows who you are, and if the divine knows how you are, then the divine will know what challenges to present you with for you to overcome whatever it is that you need to overcome. And the divine will know like what blockages, what boons, what blessings, what lessons to put on your path to get you there. And so I feel like that's the justice energy where it's like everything is accounted for in a certain way, but we still have to make the choices and decisions in our own lives because we could always choose to not, right? And so now the Two of Swords is sitting here with the Ten of Cups, and they both carry a similar message that it's like it's just the third eye. That's it. Because here, like the other two eyes, oops, there it is. The other two eyes are like blocked, right? Even the nose is blocked a little bit. The mouth is incomplete. There are no ears. The ears are covered. So it's like the senses are either absent or impaired. But it doesn't matter. There's a heavy element of, I want to say faith or trust here. Because in this card, it's like it sees above its circumstances. And it feels like there's an energy of multiple stars. And that makes sense. Okay, I was gonna say like one not necessarily malefic. It takes me back to the promise in Promises to Keep in Mouse to Go Before You Sleep. I believe that's what it's titled. Because I was like, there's this one star in the back with a reddish energy, and it's feeling like it's connected to something a little malefic, and or it's connected to the root. Now, for me, it was connected to something that was both malefic and at the root. And it wasn't necessarily malefic in a bad way. It was just malefic in a way that doesn't serve me. And it was malefic in a way that takes me out of who I am and who I want to be. It impaired my ability to, I don't know, I don't have a word for it. And like when I began to realize it was like things that were so small and barely visible. And then it was connected to things that made sense. I was like, well, I'm trying to protect myself. I don't want to be hurt. But that's like the dark moon and then the lighter moon. Neither one of them is full, by the way. And then we have two stars here. There's the malefic star, and then there's the benefic star. And honestly, it feels like perspective, or it feels like, the war between the good wolf and the bad wolf inside of us, and the one that wins is the one that we feed. There's the better outcome, and then there's the worser outcome. In this Ten of Cups, it's focused on the better outcome. It's focused on the higher outcome, the higher potential. Regardless of what it doesn't see, taste, smell, or touch in reality. This Two of Swords, it's an energy because all of its senses are impaired. It's an energy that's free of earth. It's not bound. But sometimes we can experience that as blinding and deafening and frightening. Does this get wild? Oh no. Oh no. The card that came out is Connect to Heart. I love that. I mean, that's basically what happened for me. I'm like, what? What? Whoa, oh my gosh. I really didn't see it. And I was just thinking earlier today. I remember in one of my math classes in senior year, there was this one girl who called me jaded. And I was like, what? And it's not until like recently that I can see how jaded I've like been for a very long time. And it makes me laugh because now it's like how did I not see it? Because I felt justified in what I did. I felt justified in protecting myself in the ways that I thought I needed to protect myself. Honestly, it's that simple. But justice is something that exists beyond. I mean, well, that's it, right? I just said the Two of Swords is the minor justice card. There's minor justice. Minor justice had me carrying things I didn't need, unable to see things that I did need or want. It left me bound. And again, like there's a difference between minor justice and major justice because major justice is coming out with the Ten of Cups. Minor justice is coming out with the Ten of Wands. So there's an energy here as well. As with this Connect to Heart, it's also connecting to higher things. And it reminds me of what my grandma said, because she's like, in the Bible, it says that we don't struggle against flesh and bone, but against principalities. So it's not the person that you're interacting with. It's like the systems that created that person or the systems that led for those things to be. Because it's like if you take down one, it's like if you take down a branch from a tree, what good does that do in the end? Because not only will the tree continue to grow, but some trees can also regrow that branch. And it's like, we're going around hacking at branches when we need to be getting to the root of things. And so, in that regard, it's like, I don't know, it liberates the heart in some ways. Or at least it did for me. So, I was going to end this video and come back because this feels like pretty succinct. I think I will. So, I'm going to end this here and then I'm going to come back and pull for Aries season. So if this is where you whatever, I hope you have a good whatever whenever you see this. I hope you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. I hope you see the things that you need to see to get where you want to be. And I also hope that along your journey, you're kind to yourself because we all do the best that we can do in the moment. We do the best we can with what we have to work with and with what we know. And yeah, so I'll be right back.